know what I want, so I'll take it on. I've made mistakes, but mistakes make you strong. Let's break it down for a minute. I want the crown, I'm gon' get it. You hear me loud, man, I'm winning. Yeah, Charlie Sheen will be grinning. These ladies know that I'm sinning, and this is just the beginning. I'm closing in the night inning. There ain't no point in resisting. Living life like a dream, live it right, that's the thing. Every night, got a team, I've been tied to the scene. Out on stage, here and scream, okay, it's a dream. And I pray as a team, one day it'll be me. If I want it, then I'll get it. Head down, don't regret it. Push myself to the limit. If I play it, then I win it. I'm just saying, I'm just living for today. For a minute, I don't stay, I just visit. Have no shame, I admit it. Looking right at me to see if I succeed, to see if I believe. They're looking up to me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now. Swear to God, man, I'ma make it soon. Silence all the haters as they see us making moves. I do what I want, so I got nothing to prove. Staying motivated, teaching others what to do. I'm staying focused, my mind is open. They start to notice that I'm in motion. There is no potion, you're not just chosen. It takes devotion to stay composed, man. Never stop, there ain't no time to fall. Try to live, get it up, you got one life to pop. Thinking big, never small, cause you gotta want it all. When you finally get that call, you get ready, take it on. Need a handout, I already stand out. Starting to advance now, ready to expand now. You don't have a chance now, cause we're in demand now. Make it by the grand now, feeling in command now. They're looking right at me to see if I succeed, to see if I believe. They're looking up to me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now.
Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome into the weekend updates. I am, of course, your host, TJ Lombardi. And man, what a week it has been. So shout out to all of us who have made it here, and a shout out to the Dying Breed community. Oh man, I really appreciate you guys so much. We've got Warrior Bernard, Fighters Maxwell, who I already see in the chat, Fighter Foster and Fighter Q. We've got Soldier Nick Boslow, who's down in the chat as well. Little Panda Aiden, Unwired. And then, of course, last but not least, we have Defenders LG, Jodan, Miss Aoife, Wilkie, and Stephen Landry. Dude, thank you guys for your support. And, of course, let's just jump right into the chat. If you guys have not noticed, I am exhausted. I am tired. But we've got Ryan Maxwell. What's up, bro? Bro, excited for the live. Dude, thanks for coming in, hanging out with me, man. Nick Boslow. Afternoon, TJ. Afternoon to you, good Nick. And, dude, you know what? Let's go ahead and check out these people's streams. Or, not streams. Let's go ahead and check out these people's books, man, because they've been doing some crazy cool stuff. Grand System Vending over on Royal Road. Let's see, 128,000 views. People, what are you waiting on? Go check out this awesome story. You got 90 ratings and 967 pages of awesome entertainment written by the one and only Ryan Maxwell, who is also working on his third book, the third installment of this story, you guys. Dude, shout out to you, my man. That is awesome to see. And then, of course, Nick Boslow, who spent some time hanging out with us last week. One Flew Over the Dragon's Nest, 54,500 words. Ryan, you better watch out. This dude is coming for you, man. He is not playing around. 603 pages. Nick, congratulations, my dude. This is awesome. 60 ratings, 500 followers. And one of the most recent reviews that was posted, which I think is probably one of the nicest reviews, was basically, this is one of the best stories in the genre. So, man, you know, what a great way to encourage Nick and his writing and just all the great things. Oh my gosh, wait a minute. Did I set up a chapter to be released? Oh crap. I need to post 2 more chapters of Bloodbath. Set it up for auto release. And then I got slammed with work. And it's been 2 days delayed. My bad. I don't think all 5 people are going anywhere that follow the third book. So anyways, yeah. Holy cow, dude. You guys, what a week. We've got Richie Stevens coming in. Principal Richie Stevens of Status Academy. Oh, hell yeah. It's TJ going to be lurking, trying to finish up stuff at work. Work is stupid. But it also helps us pay our bills and buy our books. So that's why we do it. He is totally going to pass me up. It's so awesome to see. Dude, that's what I love, man, is when you have friends who you know deserve great stuff and they just pass you up. And Nick is definitely one of those guys. Love to see the grind going on over there. If lucky, heck yeah, man. That's just like the Golem League, dude. You know, like Stephen Landry and Shami, where they're like, yo, we're friends. Like, it's their time to shine. I'll have my time to shine later. And then someone else, but we all want to see each other succeed. That's what's so freaking great about this genre and the people in it, man. And that's why I love writing Golem Master, because it's like trying to be a thank you to the community. But it's so good to see you guys. Thanks so much for coming and hanging out with me, man. Like I said, it's been a long week, and actually I have something to share. It's one of those things where I'm like, okay, well, this is now in the public sphere, therefore I am allowed to read off what is publicly posted. I can't go into the details of it, but I can at least read off because, yeah, it happened. Hell yeah. No reason to be an asshole when a friend is doing well. Celebrate with them. We all need that support. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Okay. Well, let's just dive into the writing scene. What are my stats and updates? So this week, I did do some writing on Saturday and Sunday, the 30th and the 31st of April. I counted those numbers the 30th and 31st of May. I counted those into April because I just did not want to recalculate the numbers. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I was able to crank out 13,219 words. That brings Golem Master up to 44,330 words. A total this year, 175,000, which is just absolutely killer. I'm super encouraged about that number. And then a total in my writing career of 858,000 overall. So where are we at in Golem Master? And I'll be asking you guys probably here in a little bit for some feedback, but I just started chapter 16. Now, for those of you in the Patreon, chapter 12 is what's currently posted. So I'm about 4 chapters, well, about 3.5 chapters ahead of everyone. And what chapter 16 is going to be Pepper's first combat Golem match that we're going to see. And I'm really excited. I've already got the bracket written up. So, I don't know. Can I really show that? So basically, if for those of you who may have read part of book 4, The Dying Breed, that's on Patreon, you guys know there's actually a tournament, a combat to the death tournament that Golgoth is involved in. And it was one of the most fun things to write for me. And so what I did with that is I actually made a bracket, kind of like you see in March Madness basketball brackets, where it tiers down, or any type of real competition. And so that is how I plan out my tournaments. Whenever I have to write a tournament scene, I will basically fill out the bracket with all of the main players, and then I kind of will tailor it out so I know who wins. And then depending on the level of depth, I will add in little notes of like, okay, this is who this golem is. This is what he does. These are certain attacks or certain things that happen. That way I don't get super repetitive in the combat. And I also try to make it, super different. So there's that. And actually, now that I think about it, I'm curious to see if you guys got to one of the fights, the golem fights that I had, because I thought it was super fun. Okay, that's Andrea's part. You haven't. Oh my gosh. Okay, so chapter 12 is pretty good. I enjoyed it. But and actually that's where Ryan comes in. Now I think about it, Ryan's character comes in chapter 12. And then chapter 13 is one that I think you guys are really going to like. I tried to be creative, and it's something I hinted at last week, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to run with that. I like that. Only be an asshole when it's to Joel. Absolutely. Total beast mode there with the words, bro. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. So, so chapter 16, I need to get to it, but honestly, I climbed out of bed like 30 minutes ago because I really struggled to get to sleep last night, and then I didn't sleep well. My back is all kinked up, as Nick knows from his back issues that he was telling us last week. So I haven't even gotten any writing in. And actually, I did not do any writing on Friday because Thursday and into Thursday night, when you think about it, I woke up at 3:15 and I started writing Thursday morning. I did not get home from work and in bed until 11 p.m. Thursday night. So that was a long day. It was just a little bit of a long day because of what happened. But Friday morning, I did not do any writing, actually, obviously. And so that is why there was no Patreon chapter on Friday. That is why I forgot to get my Royal Road chapters ready on Friday. Sorry. So yeah, it was a pretty busy day. 11 was the introduction of the VP and principal, right? Yes, it was. Yes. So chapter 11, we get to, well, no, you guys were actually introduced. Ryan, Nick, correct me if I'm wrong. Joel and Richie were actually introduced in chapter 2 or 3, just briefly in Mr. Dean's class. But then in chapter 11, yes, you guys have a fairly significant part in the story and how that all shakes up. I'm literally scrolling through the book right now. Yep, that's it. And honestly, I try to make Joel as weird and creepy as possible, just to have fun with it. So, yes, briefly, when they came in to watch the interview. Yeah, that was it. Oh, and today we're going with Ghost Energy, Pink, Lemonade. So, just to give Little Panda Aiden and Warrior Brandon a little bit of trauma. Sorry, this flavor is delicious. You guys need to shut your face. Yeah, so that's where we're at. I'm really excited about this tournament breakdown. I think it will be a good surprise for people. And then last night, as I was laying in bed, not asleep, where am I going? Oh, I had this really good idea and I really liked it. And what I need to do is get a little nightstand with a notepad so I can write the things down. And I have truly realized it. Like, you're going to have some really creative ideas. And this is kind of funny. You're going to have some really creative ideas at night when everything else is kind of tuned out and your brain has time to really start firing off all the things it's been holding on to, but it hasn't been able to really like bring out to the forefront. Oh my God, it's Charles fucking Dean. What up, you sexy man beast? We were just talking about your chapter, bro. And so I normally do not go to bed with my phone, but last night I did. It was laying next to me, so I pulled up the phone and I made sure to type away on a message. And so the funny part about this is earlier this week, I know I had a really cool idea. And I was like, dude, this is fucking dope. But I'm so tired from work that I do not want to get out of bed, walk into the living room just to write down my idea and go to bed or go back to sleep. So what I did was I took my finger and I'm like trying to pretend write on my mattress and sheets of like, and this will happen and this. And I was like, maybe if I do this and I pretend like I am writing it down on a pad of paper, my brain will remember in the morning. No, it did not. That scientific experiment proved to be a terrible idea. And that awesome idea that I remember having is gone forever. Absolutely. So 10 out of 10, do not recommend for any of the writers out there. Yeah, probably should just get the notepad by the bed. We will do that another day, obviously. I need to read it, but finances and such little time. I know. I'm drinking a blue Sour Patch Ghost as I work. Oh, I do like that flavor. They did a nice one. I just use Notepad on my phone for the same thing. It's easier than the Notepad where you have to turn on a light to see. No, I will still write in the dark, Ryan Maxwell. The light is the enemy. Stay in the grim dark. That's all you need to do. So yeah. So just stay in the grim dark. So that is the status of Golem Master. We're at 44,000 words. And honestly, I'm thinking, you know what Nick asked me last week, you know, how far do I see this going? And I really don't know. I'm just dragging it out. And I guess for you guys who are reading it, I would love to know. So if you guys are watching this live or if you watch it later, leave a comment and let me know. What do you think of the pace and the flow? Do you feel like it's going well? Do you feel like there's enough action and character depth and all and world building, all of this different things? Is it all going at the right pace for you guys? Are you still enjoying it? Are you still feeling engaged? Definitely leave me notes in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Calling it phrase of the day, stay in the grim dark. Yes, that is where the safety is. Stay in the grim dark. Don't go to the light. I'm kind of thinking of like, what was it, Pitch Black and Chronicles of Riddick? Like, just stay in the shadows. Stay in the grim dark. No one wants to see it. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm just really enjoying Golem Master. The thing that I'm afraid of is the days at work that get so busy, like it did Thursday morning into Friday. It was a crazy week. And my new supervisor and my new boss, well, kind of my old boss, but my new supervisor and my new boss have been very astute in realizing, like, dude, we are using and abusing you. Like, we're throwing a ton of work at you, but you know what, at the end of the day, it's worth it. And this change that we have made at work, the new position that I am in, I'm just so blessed, so grateful. So and what's really interesting is I do plan on doing something else later in the book. So we have Ryan's character that comes up. We've got Kyle Wilkinson's character that comes up. And maybe that was the idea that I just remembered. Let me write that down too. Kyle character, bro, mill. There. Okay. Ryan Maxwell coming in with the wisdom. Life happens. You have to give yourself grace to have time to deal with life, even when you want to make progress. We had several family emergencies on Thursday that had to put writing on hold for 2 days. Be good to yourself too. That's a very good piece of insight. Okay. let us go to the news of work. And again, like I said, I can't go into the details, but this is the public release that I will just read to you guys. I guess I'll turn on the audio just in case we want to do it. Salem Police Department media release: 1 deceased, 1 injured in early morning shooting incident. And we have an update as of yesterday. So let's go down to the very bottom. Originally published on Thursday, April 2024 at 9:45 a.m. in Salem, Oregon. Salem police officers are actively investigating a shooting incident which occurred overnight in Wallace Marine Park. Just after 3 a.m. today, officers were called to the north area of the park on the report of a shooting incident. Officers located 1 adult male victim with a gunshot wound and deceased. Another adult man was found with a gunshot wound and transported to Salem Health with a non-life-threatening injury. Wallace Marine Park remains closed and residents should avoid the area while the scene is investigated. The incident is an active investigation and no arrests have been made at this point. We understand there is much speculative information on social media concerning the incident, said Public Information Officer Angela Hedrick. We ask the public to follow our communications platforms for details concerning this investigation. As additional information becomes available, an update will be published. So that was the original public release. At 3:15 on the same day, Violent Crimes Unit detectives continue to investigate this morning's shooting incident at Wallace Marine Park. The initial investigation indicates a dispute over property occurred at a homeless campsite in the north side of the park. During the argument, one of the men fired a gun, which killed 29-year-old Charlie Allen Hodges and injured a 25-year-old man. No other weapons were used in the incident. The identity of the surviving victim, who remains hospitalized, is not being released at this time, pending notification to family. No arrests have been made, and the investigation into the incident continues. Wallace Marine Park is now open to the public. And then the most recent update. Detectives have arrested Arlie Calvin Michael Thompson, age 23, of Salem, as part of the shooting incident at Wallace Marine Park on April 4th, 2024, which resulted in the death of Charlie Allen Hodges and left another man injured. At approximately 3:15 p.m. today, a Salem police SWAT team served a search warrant at a residence in the 4800 block of North Star Court Northeast and arrested Thompson without incident. Thompson will be lodged at the Polk County Jail on the following charges: murder in the second degree, attempted murder in the first degree, kidnapping in the first degree, and unlawful use of a weapon. Given the apprehension of the suspect in this case, any further immediate inquiries into this investigation should be directed to the Polk County District Attorney's Office. So, yeah. That was work on Thursday and Friday. So, that was where things got a little busy. And like I said, I can't really go into the details. But what I can say is, man, it was an awesome team effort. That's for sure. So that was what caused me to not be able to write on Friday, but I would say it's pretty worth it. So, all right. Do I have any motivational stuff from Insta? Let's see. I just realized that's probably really risky for me to just load up Instagram and then you guys see everything on my personal feed. But I definitely did it. What was this one? I don't think we did Mr. Sweeney last week. And I am a huge Mr. Sweeney fan, so let's just go ahead and jump right into Mr. Sweeney.
Perception of you dictate your behavior, you will never grow as a person. But if you leave yourself open to experience, despite what others think, then you will learn and grow. If you let people's perception of you dictate your behavior, you will never grow as a person. But if you leave yourself open to experience, despite what others think, then you will learn and grow. If you let people...
Right? We did not. And it's Feeney. Dude, I definitely miss Mr. Feeney. That dude was so OG back in the day. And Like, what a great dude. Kyle Taylor, how's it going, brother? Dude, it's going better than your Washington Huskies. Fuck the Huskies. Ha! Let's go, baby. 2024. What's up? I do love you, though. But I know you're probably really pissed right now if you're still watching. That Feeney one is so impactful. Absolutely. Welcome, Warrior Bernard, to the stream. Gosh, we missed you, man. Sweeney was Todd who killed in his barbershop. Maybe. All right, let's see what this one goes.
If you by yourself have an iron will, then you can just keep going like a machine. If you don't have an iron will, you need something that is giving you, that is like substituting, for example, this iron will. I have things that give me iron will. For me, it's vision. I have vision for something greater. So this is the way. What keeps the fire going? Trust, hope, vision, purpose. And this is where then things come together. If you by yourself have an iron will, then you can just keep going like a machine. If you don't have an iron will, you need something that is giving you, that is like substituting, for example, this iron will. I have things that give me iron will. For me, it's vision. I have vision for something greater. So this is the way. What keeps the fire going? Trust, hope, vision, purpose. And this is where then things come together. If you by yourself have an iron will, then you can just keep going like a machine. If you don't have an iron will, you need something that is giving you, that is like substituting, for example, this iron will. I have things that give me iron will. For me, it's vision. I have vision for something greater. So this is the way. What keeps the fire going? Trust, hope, vision, purpose. And this is where then things come together.
Oh, gosh, I love it.
Every single person who has been fortunate enough to be able to learn to walk has learned to walk by walking poorly. They take a step, they fall down. They take a step, they fall down. They take 2 steps, they fall down. They don't give up on walking at that point. They toddle their way through it. Learning is about creating the conditions for people to teach themselves, not lecturing people on something that's in a book. Every single person who has been fortunate enough to be able to learn to walk has learned to walk by walking poorly. They take a step, they fall down. They take a step, they fall down. They take 2 steps, they fall down. They don't give up on walking at that point. They toddle their way through it. Learning is about creating the conditions for people to teach themselves, not lecturing people on something that's in a book.
I really loved that when I found it. And sorry if I was a little MIA there. I was trying to pester Charles Dean to come on the stream and hang out with us, but he's got something far more important going on. Thanks, Charles. You are the man. But yes, we'll have to get you to come hang out another time. So that's what I loved. Like, you know, you learn walking through those bumps in the road, those falling downs, and that's a lot like the writing, right? You just keep getting better. You keep trying to get to the point that you can stand on your own. So that's really all I have. I feel bad because I didn't really prepare a whole lot because, like I said, I was tired. I slept in. Yeah, I feel bad because I didn't post that chapter last night or yesterday. But it's there. So definitely would love to know your guys' feedback. Let me know how you feel the book is going. And yeah, if there's anything else you guys want to talk about in the chat, definitely dump it in. Let me know. I'm planning. Originally, I was going to go down to Eugene and go to the women's lacrosse game and then the softball game because they were happening both on the same day. And it's like, oh, I can do that. But then it's supposed to be 80% chance of like rain. And I was like, you know what? Though I would love to support them right now, it's going to be wet. It's going to be cold. It's going to be windy. And to do 2 events in one day, that is a lot to endure to then drive an hour and a half home. So then I remembered that Monkey Man comes out this weekend. I really want to see that movie because I think it's going to be fun and dope. So that is where I am planning to go see Monkey Man. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's at 12 o'clock. And then I definitely, if you guys probably understand after reading that public release statement, I definitely wanted to go and grab a cigar and definitely have a good celebratory moment. So, yeah, not celebratory, but like closure moment, I guess. But like I said, that was some great teamwork there. Anyways, yeah, that's it, you guys. And I'm not seeing any questions popping up in the chat. Oh, sure. Okay. Ryan Maxwell, I want to talk about new book ideas. What do we do with them? How do you handle keeping them separated from what you are already working on? How far do you allow yourself to go with an idea before you call it a distraction? That is a great question, bro. As you know, all writers have notepads somewhere, and what I realized, or what I did find, was a reel, which was a guy talking about the research where you will, when they compared people who handwrite notes to people who type, and they mostly looked at academic students, the people who hand wrote notes retained information 60% better than the people who typed them on a computer. I thought that was really interesting. And I don't know if it was the fact of, it was just how I was raised, or maybe I naturally realized these things, but I definitely like having a physical piece of paper to handwrite notes on. So in this, the very first page of this notebook was Project High Definition. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 different pages. Is that 10 or actually 20 when I count both? 10 different pages of notes that are all devoted to that book project. So then this was 1, 2 pages, 3 pages on Bloodbath that I used. So I will fold them over when I know that I've actually used that information. Another page, 2 page on Bloodbath. This was that was just a random note. How much? Oh, okay. So then this is, I guess I'll just call it Portal Strike. Portal Strike was this project that I started to come up with that I thought would be really cool, a really great concept, very military-esque, kind of an in-between, I don't know, definitely had more of like a Bloodbath with the sci-fi military shooter vibe, some aliens and demons and other types of stuff. And so I just have 2 pages here, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 29 pages on Golem Master. Then I have another page on Bloodbath. Then I have 2, Another page, 2, 3, 4. So there's another 4 pages on Bloodbath. Then let's see, another one. And there's all a reason for me going on this random bullshit. Sorry. 1. Oh, I forgot about this. I'm glad I went through this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Another 9 pages of Golem Master. Okay, so then this was all Gildify-Con notes where I was doing stuff with that. So as you can see, as an idea comes up, it's creative. And like I kind of mentioned earlier, when I'm falling asleep in bed, and you have these ideas. Well, I've taken some of the stuff from Project Kepler that you and I worked on, and I've actually applied it in Golem Master a little bit. Some other stuff from Portal Strike is actually what I've applied to Golem Master. And so when the ideas come, I normally find it's really good to just start writing all of these notes out, use that creative energy and that motivation and excitement, and pour it all out on the page. And then once you get to that point of like, okay, did I get all of the ideas and all of the thoughts down on paper? Okay, then let's seal up that chapter right now and let's go back to what we were doing. And the reason I say that is it allows you to get out all of that creative excitement and energy at one time. You feel like you've kind of come to a complete thought. And then once you go back to re-look at it, you're going to have exactly the same thought process and patterns and ideas. And as you reread over it, you'll hopefully regenerate that same level of excitement and you'll keep going. Another part of it too was I wrote the first chapter of Golem Master, I think actually back in December. I just didn't release it. I held on to it. I didn't even know Pepper's name. Like I didn't know what Pepper's name was going to be, main character. So I wrote it without his name being in there. I didn't have names for his mom or dad even. So I just wrote down like the first chapter because I didn't want to go any further with it, even though I had all of these notes, and some of these notes came after December as well. So I just literally take it one step at a time. And one of the reasons I also say that is I didn't really plan out in depth like I have with other books. I went very much into discovery. And as you go down that path, it allows you to also come up with those other creative ideas. So that's where I dumped basically all the lore and world Bible stuff, the notes of how different things work, all onto the page. That way I can reference it later. So kind of like high definition, there's some things that come up maybe in Golem Master where I'm like, this doesn't fit in this world, but that would be really cool if I applied it over in high definition. So I'll write it down with high definition notes. Or maybe high definition completely gets scrapped, but I take all of that concept and all of those notes and then I just apply it into another project, right? Maybe I apply it to Project Moonstrike because it would totally work. The premise would work if you just flipped it on an axle and looked at it from a new perspective. So I like to write down all of those different projects. There's another project that I had started working on. Let me see where my folders are at. Lustration of Humanity was one that I had started to work on. Sanctified was something I started to work on. Kepler was something that you and I worked on. High Definition, Rebel 9, which again was another book idea, and it's actually technically a short story that I could finish up, but it covered the character that is now Dagon Otto in book 3 of Bloodbath. So I started to go down a side story with Rebel 9, and have him do that. But then once I got to that point of, nope, I don't want to continue this series right now at this point. I just want to finish it up, let it be. And if I readdress it later, then I can do that. So that was another one. And then Golem Master, and then Portal Strike. So yeah, there's definitely a ton of different projects. And I think that's a part of the other creative idea that helps you grow as a writer is you'll get to a certain point and it's like, you know what? Yeah, this is fun. This would be cool. I could enjoy this, but I don't feel like it's the right time for this story. So you just shelve it. You shelve it as it is. And with Sanctified, I did a lot. I did a lot of work on this to a certain point, and I'll even show you guys. This was one of my favorite ones that I did for Sanctified, the book. I was actually thinking about doing this as a cover art concept or part of it. But like this guy, he was definitely supposed to be in Sanctified and helping out with some stuff. So yeah, it was definitely supposed to be super dark. And I did a lot of work on it. And now I'm like, nope, it's not the right time. Not the right fit. Not where I want to go. But Golem Master is definitely one where I see what is really cool about Golem Master is though I do not have an end idea for book, like should it be 1 book, 2 book, 3 book? I'm taking it step by step, but what's really cool was because of that, creative structuring, I now realize how I can make it into more nostalgic for those of us that grew up with the influences that have been applied to Golem Master. So I'm really excited to let those come to fruition and help me carry on into the next wave of things. Geez, I barely have a couple sentences for each idea. Do you tend to go with what you feel has the most pull for you personally or something that you think will do well in the market? A little bit of both. I would say, let's just be real, dude. I would love to write Project High Definition right now because it is super grimdark and morbid and just like Dante's Inferno to the max. I love the concept. I think it would be really cool. So I know I would love to write it, but I don't think it's the right time or place. And so I don't think it's necessarily the market, what the market may want. That's why I loved talking to Kevin Sinclair, where he's like, there's Taylor Swift fans, there's Slipknot fans. I'm a Slipknot fan. I'm going to keep on it. But with Golem Master, I think one of the reasons why I love it is not only is it the story that I've wanted to write for a while, and I didn't realize how I could make it work until just now, or, when that idea first came to me, but I think it is going to be a huge shift in the lit RPG genre, where right now we see a lot of deck building. I think this story will be the next thing that inspires a different creative take on the genre as well. I think Quest Academy is doing some really creative stuff. I love what Brian's doing. I think he's taking a very creative approach. I really like what Lars is doing and some of the other deck builders. And I think this concept will be another great step in the genre's growth. So I just want to make sure I do it right. And I think it will be something that really takes off, especially with where I see the books going and the next evolution that the main character is going to bring into the world. That's what I'm really excited about. So it is a little bit of both. I'm not going to lie. I got to react to Charles Dean's DM to me. That's right. I'm sliding into Charles Dean's DMs because he's that cool. Good questions, though, man. I appreciate that. So hopefully that was encouraging. Hopefully that made sense to you. But yeah. I did not eat a lot of the food that I bought this week. And I feel bad about that. I hate wasting food. And I always feel like, I always am very strict on my budget to a certain point. I try to only buy foods that I know I'm going to eat. And for some reason this week, I did not eat all the onions I bought. I did not eat all the peppers I bought. And I was going to make them fresh and fry them up in stir fries and have them every day. Definitely did not happen. So, it all makes sense. I appreciate the talk about it. I still struggle a little with how far to let an idea take me before I have to sideline it to keep working on the story I already have. So my big thing, bro, is you're probably, I would assume, dealing with this right now, where you're getting really tired of grand system vending, and you're like, I would love to have a break and just do something different right now. And that is exactly why, or where I got with book 3 of Bloodbath. I had ideas to take it to book 3 and 4, but I got to that point where it's like, nope, we're merging these 2 books together to one. Though I enjoy the story, it got to the point where it's like, I want to be done with the story. I don't want to move on with it. And what is hard is, yes, book 1 was on Royal Road. Book 2 had just started releasing on Royal Road when I started writing book 3, and there was not a huge amount of feedback on the books. Like, you have way more feedback than I do on your books on Royal Road. So I didn't have much feedback. And it was one of those things where I was like, I'm just tired. I don't want to write this story anymore. I want to move on. I want to be done. And so that's where I just capped it and I finished it as is. So yeah. I mean, I still love the story. Don't get me wrong. It's fun and entertaining, but it does feel more like work sometimes because of the commitments. The slight distraction helps. Dude, I totally get it. I totally get it. And actually, let's be real. I had written book 2 of Bloodbath. I had edited book 2 of Bloodbath. Then we had GuildifyCon. Then Golem Master idea came to me. I wrote that prologue. I wrote all the notes out of my notepad. And honestly, the notes on my notepad came from me the day that I drove from Arizona to Oregon. I moved all my stuff up here. Whenever I take really long road drives, I will keep my notebook and pens in the paper with me so I can scribble them in the notepad as I drive, because I have had a ton of ideas while I do long road trips. For some reason, long road trips, long walks, and also listening to other people's audiobooks, I get a lot of ideas. And so, yeah, so I wrote those ideas down, and then I had to step away and go back into Bloodbath, and it is what it is, right? So I get it. And that's why for Golem Master, I'm just taking things one chapter at a time, discovering as I go. And though I have ideas of the future of how it should end, I try to put stress or pressure on myself of like, this is when you need to finish it. And that's honestly why I am not really, I don't feel compelled to submit this to a publisher, because I don't want to be in the contract of like, you need to get us book 3 by this date or book 2 by this date. It's like, nope, you'll get the books when I'm done. I don't know. We'll see. There are pros and cons. There are pros and cons to it all. But for right now, I just try not to stress about that. That is just the OG reality. So, all right. Dude, I think that's all I got for today. And yeah, I feel bad. I don't know why I feel bad. We're just at about an hour. And man, I'm talking about Golem Master has definitely left me feeling more excited about wanting to write this tournament. But after this week, I definitely need to make sure that I take a step away and just really relax. Hopefully, in the next 2 weeks or so, I believe work is going to let me transition into a 4-10 schedule. And we're talking about allowing people in my types of positions, to join the police officers union and leave the union that the majority of them are in. I am not in the union. But with that being said, if we can get that to work, then that means we will then be under their union, which allows us to have paid lunches, which means I don't have to work 11 hours in a day. I can just work 10 hours in a day and eat as I go, because we all know how crazy that is. I got the 10 hours of overtime. 3 of those hours were from me cutting my lunch break short because shit needed to get done. So if I move to the 4-10 schedule, I'm really excited because I should be able to still do my writing in the morning, do a run in the afternoon, evening after work, but then having that extra day off, I get to spend one day just being lazy, going hiking, getting outside, doing other things that I love to do. Then that one day of all the chores, of cleaning, prep cooking, dishes, and then one extra day to just write. And so that's why I'm super excited for that possibility. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Pressure for those commitments is both good and bad. It keeps you motivated at least. 100%, dude. I'm not trying to bash it. It's just one of those things where I'm like, you know what? I just don't want to be under that pressure at this point. I just want the story to be fun and entertaining for people. So I'm enjoying Golem Master so far, but don't force it. That's where things change. Thanks, man. No, I appreciate it. I'm excited. I think it'll be good. So I'm excited to see what you guys think of the next couple chapters too. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of characters in this book. There's a lot of characters that are still needing to come. And like BJ Wood's character is probably not really going to show up until book 2. There's going to be like R.A. Cooper and L.M. Hughes, Aoife. Their characters may not come in until book 2. And there's some people in the genre in our community that just don't have characters. And I feel bad. It's not everyone, but like Seth Ring. Seth Ring is probably going to come up in book 1 or book 2. Eric Uglin is coming up in book 1. Kyle Wilkinson's character's coming up. Our Rose Reynolds characters coming up in book 2. Who else do I have? Kristen, Miss Kristen, and Geneva. Their characters are more than likely going to come up in book 2, maybe book 1 at the very end. James Hunter, Jodan, their characters may be coming up in book 1 or 2, more than likely book 2. I wasn't going to add Jez into this story just because he is a very huge part of Bloodbath. The same thing with Brian, but now I thought of other creative ways to add them in. Jack, why do I forget Jack's last name? Is it Jack Fields? Yep, Jack Fields. I believe I'm going to have a character for him coming up pretty soon. Harmon Cooper, I haven't figured out yet. Michael Head, I think I'm going to throw him in with James Hunter, Michael Chatfield. So there's just still a lot of people and a lot of characters that need to come up in the book. But yeah, I haven't figured out all the placements yet. But don't go overboard with characters or you'll end up like me with 40 characters to keep up with in a fight. No, they don't. They're not all involved in a fight. There's just certain aspects of them coming in to add in more dynamic to the story, help add the depth of the world, the environment, the Golem League, and everything that's going on. So that's where Seth has got a pretty small part. Dimmy, oh my gosh, there's going to be a match between two golems, and I think you guys are going to really like it. I think you're going to love it. So I'm excited for it. But yeah, so this is where talking about it and me going over all the ideas I have has gotten me more excited to keep writing. So yeah, there's still a lot to come. I'm excited, and I think you guys are going to like it. So there's that. All right, you guys. Well, I think that's all the time I'm going to have for today. Thank you so much for coming into another weekend update. I am planning that we do some author interviews pretty soon. I haven't even set a date, but Benjamin Curie and I were still talking about getting on the calendar and doing our interview. Charles Dean, maybe one or two other people. So that should be a good time. I hope you guys will consider tuning in for that. Oh my gosh, Timo. Oh, Timo, I forgot to tell you last week, and we're literally about to end, but thanks for coming in. I have you as a character in Golem Masters. You're not a villain, but you're kind of like, so you're a gladiator that's fighting in the underground / unsanctioned golem fights. And you're mentioned, your golem is a samurai sword warrior, because that was the book I learned of you, kind of. So yeah, your character is definitely going to come back up again more in book 2. But now that you tuned in, I at least wanted to let you know that. So there's that. Anti-hero. Not really an anti-hero, but it's just one of those things where, well, Ryan, I think you've already read the part, like, there's the underground / unsanctioned matches, which they're not illegal, but once a gladiator goes and starts competing in the underground or the unsanctioned leagues, you are banned from the Golem League. And so, oh, dude, see, this is another addition to the idea how the underground helps build Pepper. Okay, so remember how I just said, like, there is this idea of something that Pepper's going to do that really changes everything at the very end, and that could do continuation? Bro, like, see, underground, the unsanctioned can help add on to that in a different total way. So that's why, man, you just keep flowing with the ideas. I love it. This is good stuff. That's sick. Yeah, so, I mean, this would be a little bit of a spoiler because we haven't gone into your character really. He's just mentioned, and he's mentioned that he won a lot of Flex coins, which is the currency right now in the world. And there's also arena coins, which are Golem League coins, and that's a whole different thing. But basically, it was mentioned of like how you just won a whole bunch of fights, you won a whole bunch of Flex, and you were a Golem League fighter, and then you decided to leave and just start competing in the underground because you could take all of your experience from the Golem League and you could just make a whole bunch of shit ton of money in the unsanctioned with the betting and stuff like that. So that's where, like, you weren't really big in the Golem League, but because of your experience from the Golem League, you're a pretty big deal in the unsanctioned matches. So, and that's where I was like, oh, we'll just keep him with the Samurai Warrior. That would be pretty cool. So there's that. Nice. I'm good, man. I'm glad. I'm glad you're okay with it because I just did it. I didn't ask you for your permission. I just did it. But all right, guys, we're at an hour. So I'm going to cut it here. I have to get some dishes done. I have to get grocery shopping and all the other things done. But thanks for coming into the weekend updates. Thanks for just hanging out. Oh, dude. See, this is where right when I leave, you pull me back in. Shogun is amazing. yes, I am all caught up on the series. It's so good, and I'm loving it. Really loving it. I'm excited. I look forward to every episode every week that comes out. If you guys haven't started watching Shogun, you need to. It is as good as people say it is, aka myself. But yeah, so all right, guys. Well, have a blessed week. Thanks for tuning in to another weekend update, and I guess we'll just plan to see you guys next week. All right, deuces.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want, so I'll take it on. I've made mistakes, but mistakes make you strong. Let's break it down for a minute. I want the crown, I'm gon' get it. You hear me loud, man, I'm winning. Yeah, Charlie Sheen will be grinning. These ladies know that I'm sinning, and this is just the beginning. I'm closing in the ninth inning. There ain't no point in resisting. Living life like a dream, live it right, that's the thing. Every night, got a team, I've been tied to the scene. Out on stage, here I'm scream. Okay, it's a dream, and I pray as a team. One day, it'll be me. If I want it, then I'll get it. Head down, don't regret it. Push myself to the limit. If I play it, then I'll win it. I'm just saying, I'm just living for today. For a minute, I don't stay, I just visit. Have no shame, I admit it. Looking right at me to see if I succeed, to see if I believe. They're looking up to me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now. Swear to God, man, I'ma make it soon. Silence all the haters as they see us making moves. I do what I want, so I got nothing to prove. Staying motivated, teaching others what to do. I'm staying focused, my mind is open. They start to notice that I'm in motion. There is no potion, you're not just chosen. It takes devotion to stay composed, man. Never stop, there ain't no time to fall. Try to live, get it up, you got one life to pop. Thinking big, never small, cause you gotta want it all. When you finally get that call, you get ready, take it on. Need a hand out, I already stand out. Starting to advance now, ready to